To crochet this cute little strawberry mitt, we're going to use Bernat Super Value wool. So I have a green, it's called Kelly green, medium weight of 4. I also am going to use the red, I just don't have the label on my red, and a white. So they're all the same type of wool. I'm also going to use a 5mm crochet hook. We'll begin with the red. Start with a magic circle. So we chain 3. I'm going to do 8 double crochet in here. So when we've done our 8 double crochet, we'll slip stitch into the top of our chain 3. So we'll chain 1, do a half double crochet in our first, 2 half double crochet in our next one, one half double crochet in our next, 2 half double crochet in the next one. So we're going to continue that all the way around back to the beginning. So 1 half double crochet and 2 half double crochet in our next stitch. So now you should have 12 half double crochets. Slip stitch to the top of your chain 1. Chain 1. This next round we're going to do a half double crochet in our first 2 stitches, and then 2 half double crochet in our next. We'll continue that all the way around until we have 16. So 1 half double crochet in the first stitch, 1 half double crochet in the second, and then 2 in our next one. Okay, so we're at the end of the row. Again, just slip stitch to the top of your chain 1. We can count that we've got 1, 2, 3 rows. We're going to continue chaining 1 at the beginning, and then a half double crochet in each stitch all the way around. So we're not going to increase anymore, just a half double crochet in each stitch. Continue in this pattern until you have 7 rows complete. Okay, that's the end of my 7th row, and I've slip stitched into the top of the chain 1 from the last row. So now we're going to chain 1. We're going to do a half double crochet, another half double crochet, then we're going to decrease. So yarn over, go through your first or your next stitch, yarn over, pull through a loop, go through the next stitch, yarn over, pull through a loop. Now we've got 4 on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 4. So we'll do another half double crochet, another half double crochet, yarn over, go through our next stitch, then go through the next stitch, and we should have 4, yarn over, pull through all 4. Half double crochet in our next one, half double crochet in our next one, yarn over, go through our next stitch, pull up a loop, Go through the next one, pull up a loop. We have 4, pull through all 4. Half double crochet, half double crochet. And we're going to do another decrease. So go yarn over, go through our first stitch, go through our second one, yarn over, pull through all 4. Now we are going to change to white. So we'll slip our hook through, but you're going to pull back with your white yarn as a slip stitch. So I'm just going to take off my red yarn. So with our white, we've just done a slip stitch. We're going to chain 3. And then we're going to do double crochet all the way around. So we should have 12 double crochets. We'll slip stitch to the top of that chain 3. So let's chain 1. Now we're going to do a front post double crochet. In our next one, we're going to do a back post double crochet. We're going to continue that all the way around. Just a refresher for front post double crochet, yarn over. Instead of going through the top of this stitch, we're going to go around the post that double crochet made. So yarn over, go behind that post, pull a loop through. Now we're just going to do a double crochet. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. Back post double crochet, yarn over. Instead of coming through the front, we're going to go through the back of that post. And just complete our double crochet. So we're going to do this all the way around till we get back to the beginning. So front post double crochet, back post double crochet. When we get back to the beginning, just slip stitch into the top of your chain. So chain 1. Our next row is going to be the same as the last one. We can see this is a front post double crochet, so we're going to do a front post double crochet. This one here was on the back, so we're going to do a back post double crochet. Front post double crochet. So continue that till you're back at the beginning again. We get back to the beginning, just slip stitch into the top of our chain 1. Then we can just fasten off. So this part of the mid is done. Now we're going to add our little seeds. To add the seeds, we'll need a length of white yarn, tapestry needle, then we'll have to turn our mitten inside out. Now you could do this even before we start crocheting the white. It'll be a little bit easier to get in there. While we're in here, it's also probably a good time to secure in these ends. So when I sew on the seeds, I like to go like in one hole and up through the next one, or maybe even a couple over. You don't want the seeds to be too small. Now, I'm not going to leave long lengths of yarn inside because you don't want little fingers to get caught in them. So I'm going to weave through the red, but not all the way through the red, just on the surface on the inside, to where I would like to put a second seed. So that one I went through, all the way through and back up. So I should have 2 seeds. Let me turn this just for the purpose of showing. So you can add as many seeds as you like. So go around the mitt, adding seeds, and then come back, ending close to where your starting yarn is. Okay, and we'll meet back here. But remember to just weave slightly into the red yarn, the white, just so there's nothing in there for little fingers to get caught in. So after you've checked to see that you like the placement, you can bring your ends together. I like to put a little knot in there, and then just weave in these ends. Now we're ready to make our ribbon. You can decide where you want the front of your mitt. You just have to turn it, and once you squish it down. So I think this will be the front of mine. Now to make the ribbon, we're going to use green, and we're just going to make a simple chain. For this one here, I did a chain of 60. Might be a little bit too long, but here is another example of the same weight of wool, and this is a chain of 50. So it's up to you how many you want to put in your chain, but because I've done 60 in this one, I'm going to do 60 for this one. So we'll start with our slip knot. So slower for the slip knot. Tail end of our yarn. Lay it over the working end of the yarn. I'm going to go through that loop. You're just going to grab the tail end part of the yarn. Hold on to both pieces and just pull a loop, and it easily slips up and down just by pulling on the tail end. I'm going to use the same crochet hook, so I'm going to chain 60. Okay, I have 60 on my chain. So we can see our front post double crochets, so not the one on the top, but the one in the middle. You can just bring your hook through there and just make a little loop with your yarn. Pull it through, go through your next one, so all of your front post double crochets you can just pull through. Or if you want to use real ribbon, you can. Okay, so now our ends. Just going to weave them in and out through our chain. So I've gone up about this far. Can come back a little tiny bit. Kind of it'll keep it in there, no matter which way it gets tugged. So once I've come up a couple of inches, then I turn around and come back. Not all the way, probably about halfway. So then we just tie our chain. Just play with it a little bit until you get it the way that you'd like it. So there we have our cute little strawberry mittens. For the hat, we'll start with a magic circle and our red yarn. So we'll chain 3. We're going to do 12 double crochet into our magic circle. At the top of our chain 3, we'll do a slip stitch, chain 3. So now we're going to do 2 double crochet in each double crochet from our row before. join the top with a slip stitch, top of our chain 3. So we should have 24 double crochet plus our chain 3. So we'll chain 3 again. And in this round, we're going to do double crochet in our first. Then we'll do 2 double crochet in the next. So we'll repeat this all the way around. So once again, it's 1 double crochet, and then in our next stitch it's 2 double crochet. Continue this all the way around, and at the end we should have 36 double crochet plus our chain 3. Okay, I just finished the end of the third round. 36 double crochets plus our chain 3. We'll slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. So for our next row, we'll chain 3. And in this row, we're going to do double crochet in our first 2. And then we'll do 2 double crochet in our next. So we'll be continuing that pattern all the way around. Double crochet in one stitch, double crochet in the next, and then 2 in the following stitch. At the end we should have 48 double crochet plus our chain 3. Okay, that's the end of the fourth row, and I have 48 double crochet plus our chain 3. Slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. Chain 3. In this round we're going to double crochet in our first 3. And then we'll do 2 double crochet in our fourth stitch. So we'll continue that same pattern all the way around, and when you're finished you should have 60 double crochet plus your chain 3. That is the end of the fifth row, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of our chain 3. So we've completed 5 rows. We're going to continue rows 6 through 10 with just a double crochet on top of the double crochet in the row before. So you start with a chain 3, double crochet all the way around, so at the end of your round you'll have 60 double crochet plus your chain 3. When you're finished all of your 10 rows, we'll meet back and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so I'm just finishing up row 10. Slip stitch in the top of our chain 3. Now we're going to chain 1. We'll single crochet in each stitch around. When we get back to our first single crochet, we'll meet again. Okay, we're at the end of round 11. We've done a single crochet in each stitch around. So we're going to slip stitch at the top of that chain 1 and chain 1. So we're going to do this for a total of 5 rows. So we've just completed 1. So do 4 more rows and then we'll meet back here. That's the end of my 15th row. We'll just fasten off. And so this portion of the hat is completed. Okay, we'll begin the top of the strawberry hat with a magic circle. We'll chain 3. We're going to do 8 double crochet in here. So I just snipped off the beginning yarn. It's going to be buried inside at the top, but we don't need a long piece of yarn there. So we'll slip stitch in the top of our chain 3. Let me make sure I have 8. We're going to chain 3. Then we'll do a double crochet in top of each of our double crochets from the row before, which should be a total of 8 again, plus our chain 3 space, our chain 3. When we finish our 8 double crochet, we're going to slip stitch into the top of our chain 3, chain 3, and we'll repeat that last row. We'll do 8 double crochet around again. We'll slip stitch into the top of our chain 3. Okay, now we're going to chain 5. And we're going to single crochet in our 4th and 5th chain from the hook. So we have to count down 1, 2, 3, 4. And 5. Do a single crochet in both of those. So in our next stitch over, we're going to do a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. In our next one here, we're just going to do a slip stitch, 5 chains, and we're going to do a single crochet in our 4th chain from the hook, and 5th chain from the hook. We're going to single crochet in our next space, chain 1, single crochet. Then in our next one, we're just going to do a slip stitch, chain 5. We're going to do a single crochet in our 4th chain from the hook and our 5th chain from the hook. Single crochet in our next one, chain 1, single crochet. Then we can just slip stitch into the beginning of our first chain 1 at the very bottom. So now we have 3 of these beginning parts of our leaves. So we have chain 1, we have a single crochet, and then we have this space that was created by our chain 5 when we bent it over. So in our first single crochet here, we're going to do 2 treble crochet. So we're going to wrap our yarn around twice, go through that space, pull back a loop. We've got 4 on our hook, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through the last 2. So we're going to do another treble crochet in the same space. So yarn over twice, go through the same space. And so we yarn over and pull back 3 times. Then we're going to do, in our next space going up, we're going to do 2 double crochet. Then we're working in this little space that we've created at the top of the chain, and we're going to do 5 half double crochets. So yarn over once, we go through, pull back a loop, we've got 3 on, so we pull through all 3 for a half double crochet. We'll do 5 of those. So as we're doing those, it's naturally making us curve around the top. So we have these 2 spaces that are left on the way down. So we're going to do 2 double crochet in this first one. And then in our next space, we're going to do 2 treble crochet. So our chain 1 space that we have between our leaf shapes, we're going to just do a single crochet. So we're going to do the same thing over here on this side. We'll start with 2 treble crochets in that first space. Then in our next space, we're going to do 2 double crochets. In our middle of our chain up here, we'll do 5 half double crochets. Coming down this side, we have 2 spaces. Our first one, we're going to do 2 double crochet. And our next one will be our 2 treble crochet. Coming along here, we'll do a single crochet in our chain 1. We've got 2 of our leaves complete. We just have our 3rd one. So again, we start with the first space, 2 treble crochet. Next space, 2 double crochet. In the top of our chain, our space, we have 5 half double crochet. Along this side, we have our 2 spaces left. So the first one, we're going to do 2 double crochet. And then 2 treble crochet. Single crochet in our chain 1 space. And then we'll just slip stitch the beginning of our first leaf. Actually cut a long tail because we're going to use this for sewing. Just make sure this one, the tail from in there is just stuffed inside. If you want it, you could put some polyfill in there, but you don't have to. I haven't used any, but you could. To sew the leaves onto the top of the hat, I made sure the stem was right over the center of the hat. I'm just using these blocking pins. You can use whatever you like, whatever you have on hand, just something to keep it in position, just so that it doesn't go off center when you're sewing it. So this long length of green that we cut, I have a tapestry needle, and I'm simply just going to go in through the red hat, back up through the leaf, just going to follow the outside of my leaf all the way around. So I'll follow here, up to here, back around to here until we get back to the beginning. We'll meet back there. So now I'm back to the beginning. It's all stitched down. I just tie off this I'm actually going to make my length of yarn shorter. Just going to make a little knot. It's almost like a French knot, so you go around twice in that little loop. Make sure that your yarn tightens up with the knot right down at your project. And we can just weave that in and out. Go back the same way. Just snip that close to the work. So for the seeds, we'll need a length of white. It's probably 2 arms length of white. Use our tapestry needle. Okay, so we'll start here. This is my back seam. So I'm going to leave a tail, probably about that long. Come out this space, come down to a space just below it. You don't want your seeds too large and you don't want them too tiny. Something like that is good. So just in random spots. That one there's a little large, probably too large for my liking. But in random spots you'll just go in and out, not too far. Because remember, your wool inside is being trailed along. With the mittens, I like to make sure there's no loops inside because I don't want the fingers to become stuck in any loops. The head is not the same concern, but we don't want to have really long pieces of white yarn in there. So therefore the seeds be pretty close to each other. And we'll just do them randomly all across our hat. So I'll work from one side all the way across until I'm back over here again. Then we'll see what it looks like. I just finished putting the seeds all around the hat. So I'm back inside. So I finished down around there. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of weaving my white through the red just so I can meet up with my starting yarn. Stretch it back out so there's no puckers. So our hat and our mittens are complete. It's a cute little set, I think. And I hope you enjoyed following along this tutorial with me, and I hope you join me back here again and follow along with some of my other projects. Happy crocheting!